Hello, my name is Álvaro Cuervo. I am one of the co-editors of Global Strategy Journal, and I have been asked to think about ideas that we should consider in future research in global strategy. And for this, I have three main blocks of ideas. One of them is the analysis of institutions, but institutions in a different way from what we have traditionally analyzed. We have looked at how pro-market reforms, liberalization has enabled many companies to become multinationals. That was a big trend that started in the 1980s, 90s, and basically helped the expansion of many of the companies from both advanced and emerging economies. We have analyzed emerging market multinationals. Now the question is, can we go beyond this idea and see how, in some cases, those institutions are going in the reverse? Some countries are implementing policies that are trying to some extent, block or limit the transfer of innovations, the transfer of ideas, the transfer of trade flows, in some cases block multinationals, and that's something that maybe we should start thinking about looking at in future research to try to understand as a manager, how do you deal with this new reality in which the assumptions that I had about continued globalization are being challenged, and now we have some anti-globalization movements, new populist governments that come and take power and are challenging some of the institutional framework that we took for granted when we were designing globalization strategies. The second big topic is the story of innovation. And it's different types of innovations that we seem to be hearing a lot about in reality, but we don't really see much reflected in terms of what is happening with current research. Topics like blockchain, which is initially coming from finance, going to have an impact not only in financial markets, it already has affected how banks and financial institutions are rethinking their business models, but also how we can track all types of transactions and what is the implication for companies that all of a sudden can implement this type of technologies in global value chains. And they have a type of traceability that before was something that was not available, other types of technologies that like virtual reality, how is this going to change how we interact with others? We come to conferences, we interact with others, the personal relations are important. Video conferencing has been very useful for doing research across borders, and we can all of us see that and benefit from this. What is going to happen next? What will happen when all of a sudden we can actually have a very close relationship with others, and how we are going to interact with these other people that can be very, very far away? How is this also going to change how we understand and analyze different problems? We can start to predict and model new products, new services in different ways. We can start finding new solutions to problems that we had before with issues of distance. Other types of innovations, in addition to these two, issues of autonomous vehicles that are to some extent are being tested, and there are, of course, like with any new technology, some challenges, but what will happen, for example, with transportation and networks of communication and transportation when all of a sudden we can literally send things on autonomous vehicles. Shipping is going to be to some extent disrupted. We can send things across the sea in robots. What will happen with trucks? What will happen with railways? What is the change that this is going to make into how we understand autonomy, and as individuals, how are we going to have to change in how we interact with machines, with the assumption that we had before that we have control, and all of a sudden there is nobody literally at the wheel, and there is an artificial intelligence that is going to be redirecting how we move things around. Then the third topic that I think is going to be interesting, and I think that we should start to pay attention to it, is issues of extreme events. And to some extent, we take companies that operate in a more or less stable environment. There is relatively little uncertainty. The reality of many of these companies is that in some countries, there is a lot of instability, a lot of risk, stories of political risk, stories of violence, stories of extreme poverty, social movements. How do we react? How do we connect with people that all of a sudden, for a number of reasons, are going to create a lot of risk and uncertainty in operations in the future? What is going to happen? How do we deal with changes in policies? It's not the traditional regulation, but all of a sudden a revolution. How do we, as scholars and the managers, how do we try to basically build companies that can deal with this type of new types of uncertainties? Going beyond the traditional assumption of, oh, that's a risk, we have to minimize risk or we have to manage risk. Is there a way to basically build some type of resilience in the mindset of employees and build some type of research on resilience that we, on the one hand, gain knowledge on how to deal with this, and at the same time, we can basically provide some useful suggestions for managers. With this, I hope that you find it interesting, and we look forward at ESJ to receiving papers that have this kind of novelty built into the research questions that you are going to answer. Thank you very much.